Hey everybody, I'm Lisa Rowberry, your independent Scentsy consultant. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video, we are going to address a question that I get asked about constantly, definitely a few times a week, and we're going to address the elephant in the room, my bar wall. We are going to talk about the best way to store your bars, why I store my bars the way I do, things to kind of look for, and that type of thing. So I today was actually going through my bar wall and just kind of checking my bars, because if you are going to hang your bars, there are some things to look for. Is this the optimal way? Is this the best possible way to store your bars? No, it's not. I'll be the first one to tell you that, but I choose to hang my bars like this because I just simply like the way it looks. So, but when you are going to hang your bars, there are some things that you need to take into consideration. And as I said, I was going through checking my bars for what I like to call juicy bars, and I found one, and I thought, you know what, this is a really good opportunity to share this information with you guys because I am asked about this so frequently. So I did come across a bar Watermelon Wave, and this was a scent of the month. Ooh, gosh. Has it been 2 years? It may have been 2 years. It was definitely, yeah, not this last summer, so it had to have been the summer before. And I am not, generally what I'll do is when I'm popping open the clamshells to see if they are getting kind of juicy, and I'm going to show you what I mean, then what I'll do is I'll generally just make sure that I warm that next. But it's December and I don't feel like warming anything watermelon right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this up a little bit, and then I'm going to store it flat. Now I'm going to show you a couple of things because I have changed the way I store my bars for a few different reasons. So what I say when I say I'm checking my bars, I pop the clamshell open and I will look for what I say juicy bars. So I don't know if you can see this, but you can see there's a little bit of, I don't want to say residue, but the oils are separating from the wax, and that's okay. That doesn't mean that it's bad and that you shouldn't warm it anymore. You absolutely can and you should. It's just the oils over time, and some bars I've had for years and the oils never separate. But then there's some bars that they separate pretty quickly. I don't know why that is. It's just something that happens. It doesn't mean I'm storing them improperly. The oils will separate whether they're being stored flat or whether they're hanging. But what you need to take into consideration is if you are going to hang them, and if they start to get juicy, you'll see that the oils are starting to collect here in the seam of the clamshell. And if it stays hanging, what will happen is this little seam will kind of fill up with oil, and then essentially it will start to drip out. You don't want to have these oils drip onto your carpet. So honestly, like, I am checking my bars really, really regularly just to make sure that none of my bars are getting juicy. And if they are, then I'll either take them down off the wall, warm them, or I will store them flat. So this is the way I like to store them, and I am going to hop over to the wall and show you how I have them stored. There's no rhyme or reason to it. There's no real organization, really. It's just, I just like the way it looks. So, but what I'm gonna do now with this bar, and I only have 4 cubes left of this, so, but I'm still not gonna warm it. So not right now anyway. But this will definitely be one of the first ones for spring and summer that I warm, just to get through the juicy stuff. So, but what I'll do is I'll pop this clamshell open and I'll just clean up the oil from this little seam like I was telling you, and it cleans up super easy. I mean, it's not gross or anything. It's not like actively dripping everywhere or anything like that. It's not bad. And so what I'll do is I'll just wipe out the inside of the top part of the clamshell just to wipe it out, clean it up, and then that's fine. And then I'll just kind of wipe around the sides of the clamshell just to make sure I'm getting all of that oil and stuff out, and then it's good. So it's still pretty juicy, but I'm not gonna wipe this down. I wanna actually keep those oils on the wax. And then now what I'll do is I'll just close it up and I'll store it flat. You can buy I'll show you the basket that I use for the bars that I'm storing flat. You can buy baskets anywhere. You can buy them from the dollar store. You can buy them from Walmart. The one I have, it's a white kind of woven design that I got from Target. I like those because I can take them to events or parties or things like that and then kind of display some bars that way. I'll have them like kind of propped up and at least it looks nice in a basket. But when I'm at home and I don't need the basket, I'll just store some of my bars flat in that basket. So I'm going to go ahead and hop over to the wall and show you how I store some of my bars. And like I said, the only reason why I like to store them this way is because I just like the way it looks. So I know it's not optimal. I know I get a ton of comments. You shouldn't store your bars like that. It's been working fine for me for a few years. I keep a really close eye on my bars just to make sure they're not seeping oil. If they are, they get pulled from the wall. So I just like the way it looks. I find that it doesn't affect the performance in any kind of way. But if you want to know the best, absolute best way to store your bars, it is flat. And I would say, I would highly recommend to not keep it in a closed storage container from my own personal experience. But I'm going to touch on that here in just a sec. So let's go ahead and hop over to the wall and I will show you some things. Okay, so we are at the bar wall. Okay, so let's go ahead and start way down to the basics. So this is just a pegboard. That's all it is. My husband and I got these. Let's see, are there three? There are 3 panels. So you can see there's a little seam here. They are 3 panels that I just got from Home Depot, and they're just plywood pegboards, and I just painted them Scentsy purple. So, and then I just bought a bunch of these pegs from Amazon. Nothing super crazy. So up on the top I have bricks, and you can fit 2 bricks on 1 peg. This one is missing a brick because it's in my bin to talk about, but yeah, so you can fit 2 bricks without it looking like it's going to burst. And then down underneath I have some of my Scentsy Go pods or wall fan diffuser pods. So I can comfortably fit 3 packs there. So I've got a few on hand. And then down here, I just have 1 peg of like car type stuff. So I've got the car bar clips. I've got a car bar. I've got several car bars back behind there and some scent circles. I've got that. So now let's talk about the bars. So as you can see, so I've got several bars. These are, I just want to put a disclaimer out there. These are all mine. These are not for sale. These are not, this is my own personal use. I'm not advertising this for sale or anything like that. These are my own personal bars. I do warm through a lot of wax. I know it's excessive. This is just, it's just something I really enjoy. So yes, is it excessive? I am fully aware, but I love it. So sorry, not sorry. So I can fit 4 bars on 1 peg. And like I said, there's really no rhyme or reason for it. It's just, I was starting to do it by color. So you can see all of my oranges are over here. I've got a lot of my beloved pumpkin marshmallow. These are like this is like my pumpkin section. So I've got all my pumpkin scents over here. My beloved Very Perry pumpkin. Oh yes. And then I guess I do try to organize it in some way. Like on this peg, we have the scents of the season. So I've got, all of these are the scents of the season scents here. But after that, like I've got some scents of the season there, and then 1 more cozy bar. But other than that, like I'll try to keep all of, like, if I have a bunch of one particular scent, like peony petals, for instance. So I've got this entire row is all peony petals. Down here is peony petals. This was excessive. It was a bring back my bar, and I love peony petals. And this was before we had Scentsy Club. So I just went ahead and went a little bit hog wild on peony petals. So I will try to keep at least like all the same fragrance in 1 peg if I have several of the same scent. That way I know, okay, I'm running low on this. I need to reorder, or panic in some situations because I can't get peony petals again. And then down here, I do have like my Disney section. So I guess I do have it organized in some kind of sense, but But yeah, so since this bottom row is the row that's closest to my warmers, I do check these first and more frequently, just because even though our warmers are not super hot, it is warmer down here than obviously the top section. So I do just check those more frequently, but honestly, I really haven't had any issues. This is pretty much out of direct sunlight. There is a window in this room, but the back wall is actually more in direct sunlight. So if you are going to hang your bars, just make sure they are out of direct sunlight and in a cool, I would say darker place. This room gets a decent amount of natural light, but it's not in direct sunlight, if that makes sense. So now we're gonna talk about the basket if you are going to lay your bars flat, and then the bin that I fell out of love with. Okay, so this is the bin I was talking about. It's just a super shallow basket. You can get a deeper basket. In fact, Target actually has these same bins that are deeper. So if you want to store more bars, these are just too deep, 2 bars deep, I mean. So that is the optimal way to store your bars, is laying flat like this, whether in a basket, in a drawer, however you see fit. I would recommend to keep it somewhere where it's still getting regular like airflow. And the reason for that is I used to store my bars, just put this down here. I used to store my bars in a bin like this, actually this exact bin. This I got from Hobby Lobby, but I think you can get them basically anywhere. Michael's, Walmart, Target. It's made by Iris. It's a portable storage case. This was like with the scrapbooking stuff. And I was storing my bars in here, but what I didn't like and what I was noticing, so it was nice to have it just like all in one container. This has a little handle, so I could just grab and go if I was going to a home party or an event or something. I could just grab it and go. But what I didn't love was the fact that it was closed up. All my bars started kind of smelling the same, and because they were all like in an enclosed area, and I think it doesn't help that this is plastic, so plastic will leach fragrance, so this is not ideal. So I don't use this for bar storage anymore. I actually use it for like business supplies and sample making stuff, so that's what I use this for now instead of for bar storage. And this is how I prefer to store my bars. Or if you are gonna do like the best possible way, it is by using a basket or something like this. So I hope that was helpful. Just make sure you're checking your bars, you guys. If you are gonna hang them, just pop them off the rack there and just check just to make sure they're not getting kind of juicy and that they are still okay to hang. All right, you guys, so I hope this was helpful. Like I said, I've gotten so many questions asking about my bar wall, if I know that that's not the best way to store them, or what the best way to store your bars is. So I hope this was helpful. Let me know your thoughts. I know that I'm not the only one that stores their bars by hanging them. I've heard a lot of horror stories of people having their bars melted all over the place from hanging them. I would say keep it out of the way of a heater. We actually don't use our heater in the wintertime at all. We live in California, it doesn't get that cold, but we don't use our heater. But if you are going to store them like this, that would be another thing to kind of consider. Make sure it's away from a vent. That way during the wintertime, if you use your heater, that it's not around that heat source. Keep it out of direct sunlight, and just be sure to check them frequently. If you don't want that kind of high maintenance situation, just store them flat. Store them flat. Make sure, and if you are gonna get a container like that one I was showing you, just keep the lid propped open. That way all your bars are not gonna start smelling the same. So I don't have any issues with this. I check them very frequently, but the lowest maintenance and the easiest way is definitely just storing them flat, either in a drawer, in a basket, that sort of thing. So I hope this was helpful. Let me know what your thoughts are, and thank you so much for watching. If you're new, please subscribe. Otherwise, I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.